Margaret Chen stood at the hospital room window, watching the autumn leaves drift past the glass. Her daughters, Emma and Lily, sat side by side in their wheelchairs, staring at the chocolate birthday cake on the table between them. 13 candles waited to be lit, but no guests had arrived to help them blow out the flames. Margaret was the CEO of a tech company in Seattle, a woman who commanded boardrooms and made million-dollar decisions without hesitation. But here, in this hospital room where her daughters had spent the last 6 months recovering from the accident, she felt completely powerless. The car crash had changed everything. One moment, the girls were laughing in the backseat, talking about their upcoming birthday party. The next, twisted metal and shattered glass. The doctors said the paralysis might be permanent. Emma and Lily, once gymnasts who could flip and cartwheel across any floor, now struggled to move their fingers. Margaret had sent invitations to their entire class, 32 children. She'd called parents personally, assuring them the hospital had a lovely common room for the party. But as the minutes ticked past 2 o'clock, it became clear that no one was coming. "Mom, it's okay," Emma said quietly, though her voice trembled. "We understand," Lily nodded, trying to smile. "People are probably just busy." But Margaret saw the truth in their eyes. The same classmates who had giggled with them at sleepovers and shared lunches now saw them as different. Frightening, even. The wheelchairs, the hospital setting, it was all too much for 12-year-olds to handle. Margaret blinked back tears. "Let me just light the candles," she said, reaching for the matches. That's when the door opened. A tall man in a blue button-down shirt stood in the doorway, his hand resting on the shoulder of a small boy in a bright yellow t-shirt. The boy looked about 7, with curious eyes and a gentle smile. "I'm sorry," the man said, his voice warm and uncertain. "We might have the wrong room. We're looking for the Chen family." Margaret straightened. "That's us." The man glanced at the girls, then at the untouched cake. Something shifted in his expression, a quiet understanding that needed no explanation. "I'm David Morrison," he said, "and this is my son, Oliver." We're here for the birthday party." Margaret's mouth opened, but no words came. She didn't recognize this man or his child. David seemed to read her confusion. "My wife used to work with the hospital events coordinator. She passed away 2 years ago, but Oliver and I still volunteer here sometimes. Your daughter's party was listed on the community board downstairs. We thought we'd stop by." Oliver stepped forward, producing a slightly crumpled card from his pocket. "I made this," he said shyly, walking over to Emma and Lily. "It's for both of you. Happy birthday." The girls accepted the card with trembling hands. Inside, crayon drawings showed 2 stick figures in wheelchairs surrounded by hearts and stars. To the birthday girls, it read in careful, wobbly letters, "You are brave and strong." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. David moved closer, pulling out a chair. "Do you mind if we join you? Oliver's been talking about birthday cake all morning." Margaret found herself nodding, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. What happened next would stay with her forever. David didn't treat her daughters with pity or awkwardness. He pulled up a chair between their wheelchairs and asked them about their favorite subjects in school, their favorite books, what they missed most about home. Oliver sat on the floor at their feet, showing them his collection of smooth river stones he'd brought in his pockets, each one a different color. "This one's my favorite," Oliver said, holding up a gray stone with white stripes. "Dad says Mom used to collect stones like this. He says she's watching over us now, like a guardian angel." Lily reached out carefully, her movements still uncertain, and Oliver gently placed the stone in her palm. "It's beautiful," she said. David lit the 13 candles, and when it came time to sing, his voice was the only one filling the room. But it was enough, more than enough. As Emma and Lily leaned forward to blow out the candles together, Margaret saw something she hadn't seen in months, pure joy on her daughters' faces. They ate cake slowly, savoring each bite. David told stories about his work as a carpenter, about the tree house he was building for Oliver in their backyard. Oliver described every detail, his hands gesturing wildly as he explained the rope ladder and the secret compartment for treasures. "Maybe when you come home from the hospital," Oliver said to the girls, "you could come see it. Dad could build a ramp." David's eyes met Margaret's across the table, and she saw in them a kindness that had been forged through loss. This man knew what it meant to watch someone you love suffer. He knew about empty rooms and unanswered invitations. "That sounds wonderful," Margaret said softly. As the afternoon wore on, David helped Margaret clean up while the children talked. Emma and Lily told Oliver about their physical therapy, about the small victories, the tiny movements they were regaining day by day. "My mom used to say that strength isn't about how fast you can run," Oliver said thoughtfully. "It's about how you keep going even when things are really, really hard." Before they left, David wrote his phone number on a napkin. "If you ever need anything," he said to Margaret, "a friendly visit, someone to talk to, anything at all. Oliver and I, we know what it's like to feel alone." After they'd gone, Emma looked at her mother with tears streaming down her face. "That was the best birthday ever," she said. Lily nodded, clutching Oliver's card to her chest. Margaret sat between her daughters, wrapping her arms around both wheelchairs. Sometimes, she realized, the most profound acts of kindness come from strangers who understand that showing up, simply being present, can change everything. In the weeks that followed, David and Oliver became regular visitors. They brought books, puzzles, and stories. They sat with the girls during therapy sessions, cheering for every small movement, every victory. And slowly, Margaret watched her daughters begin to heal, not just physically, but in deeper ways. On the day Emma and Lily finally came home, there was a surprise waiting. David had built a wooden ramp leading to their front door, and Oliver had painted it with flowers and butterflies. "Welcome home," the sign read. Margaret stood there, her heart full, remembering that terrible birthday when no one came, except someone did. Someone who taught them all that compassion isn't about grand gestures. It's about one person saying, "Can we join you?" when everyone else has walked away. That, Margaret understood now, was everything.